Hello to all suffering addicts and hello to all people who have found sanity in the recovery lifestyle. In this episode of Stories of Addiction, I will be talking to Tommy about his addiction and his recovery from addiction. Tommy is a client at the Galt House Sober Living Environment in Santa Cruz, California. He is 43 years old and his drug of choice was methamphetamine. Tommy, how you doing today?
Good, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So why don't you tell us how your addiction got started?
I would say it started back when I was 13 years old. My sister used to be bouncing off the walls, right? And so one morning she came in and asked me if I ever done any crank, if I want to do any crank. That was our meth back then. And I said, sure. And she goes, well, it'll keep you up and all this other good stuff, right? So she says, hurry up, go into the room. Let's go do a line. And she gave me instructions of what to do and what not to do with it, right? Don't spit it out because you're going to get this nasty drain type stuff, right? Sure enough, I did that line and wow, I was on fire there. She gave me about a quarter of dope and off I went to school. And it's been a crazy ride, man, because from that point, I gave away a lot of stuff. Gave away my childhood, baseball. I was a hell of a ball player, soccer player. Gave that up and got into the gang life.
Did you know your sister did, at least drugs or specifically speed, or was that your first kind of introduction to what she was doing at that point?
Well, I used to smoke weed with her and her boyfriends, but I didn't know she was doing that until, I would hear my dad and my stepmom always saying something, but I was clueless to this stuff, right? Because I was into my baseball and all the other good stuff, right? Until that one morning when she introduced the good old crank.
And how quickly, once you got into it, did you see, did you turn towards the gang life and turn away from baseball and your other, the life before you got deeply into the drugs?
And it happened fast, rapidly. I went right into the neighborhood, started hanging out with all my neighborhood friends. We all played ball together too, but I don't know. Life is a little bit different in some neighborhoods than others. I don't know. And we started getting into that gangbanging stuff and doing more drugs, more harder drugs, and the dope was available. You know what I mean? So it was easier to get once you get into that kind of lifestyle. And sure enough, I got into it and started hitting juvenile hall, and it's just crazy crap.
For stuff around drugs, or what else were you doing?
Just at that time, it was just crank and weed, maybe a little bit of LSD if we can get our hands on that, right? But alcohol, just the basic shit. I don't know if you want to call it basic, man, but it was basic to us anyways. You know what I mean? And we were young, very young, and dropped out of high school. And that I wish I would have listened to my stepdad, man, because he said high school was probably the best time of your life. So I never got to experience that, but here we are.
So what happened next once you dropped out?
Well, got into some trouble and moved back east, lived back east, right? And I got to do some pretty cool stuff over there, man, right? Got to get into boxing. I did dirt biking and all that other good stuff out back east. Is when I came home after I was 18 years old, I started went right back into using, because back east it's totally different back there. They got the hardcore drugs, but it wasn't available like it is over here type stuff. So I came back home and then got in trouble and got picked and went to prison for a long time. You know what I mean? And I was loaded. We were robbing connections, right? Heroin connections, man, and getting loaded off of heroin and doing crank too. And yeah, and just doing all that crazy crap, man. And it was just crazy. Just some 18-year-old kids shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there I was in the mix of all that bullshit. And so I spent a lot of time in prison.
How was that?
It was a roller coaster ride. Emotionally, physically, and mentally, man. I mean, prison can they say it preserves you. It may preserve you, but not in the right kind of way. You know what I mean? I went in when I was a kid, dude, and had to grow up to be a certain kind of man real fast. And it was rough. It was a doggy dog world, dude. And you know what? Because we were still in our addictions during that time, and the only ones who are there for you is your own family. All your friends are gone, your girlfriends are gone, everybody's gone, and you're just left with your family and your thoughts and the people in that kind of community. You know, and it's it was crazy because everyone waited for the dope man to hit the yard every weekend. You know what I mean? And you knew when the dope was coming on the yard, and everyone was waiting for that stuff too. There's plenty of it in there too.
Would it be on the weekends? Because that's when like visitors would come, and so they'd bring it in. You know.
Yep, exactly. If it wasn't visitors, it's also the police.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? They brought their fair share of shit in there too. You know what I mean? They had gambling debts that they had to pay off, house payments too as well.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a trip, man. I just don't go to prison.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it's the kids who went to school, I think, who got it right, man, and got a career, is the ones who actually got that shit right. Not us out there in the neighborhoods, man, because we're fighting over some bullshit. Some stuff we'll never own, whether you're from Northern California, Southern California, or in the middle. We'll never own the state, so why even fight over it? That's real.
Yeah. So what happened to some of the people you grew up with, and maybe that were in that lifestyle with you? Like, did they follow the same path as you, or did they?
Oh man. So a lot of them are dead. Some are still dope fiend type dudes. You know what I mean? Still running amok out there in the street. Some went away. You know what I mean? Became family men, career men, or whatever. Or some are doing life in prison. And that's the cold fact, man. A lot of them are pushing up daisies, dude. You know what I mean? And some just went there faster than the others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I commend the dudes who got away when they were young. You know what I mean? Because at least they thought right. You know what I mean? They seen something before the rest of us couldn't see. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride. And then I paroled, right? And parole was great. I did great. I wasn't using. Got married twice though. Right? The first marriage was, but it was a learning experience for me, right? And I got to enjoy it. I was sober at that time. And then after that divorce, I met my second wife, and that's when I started using. I started picking up again. I guess I can't use her as an excuse. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna say I wanted to do it. I had a great job. Still have a great job. You know what I mean? But yeah, I picked up again, and then I started running in with the law again, and running around people that I shouldn't have been running around with, right? And then I ignored my career for drugs, money, and women. And that kind of sucked because I gave everything up again. Not going back to prison, but I gave everything else up. And it sucks. It really sucks, man. Just thinking about that, I'm gonna take a step back a little bit and thinking about, man, I had an opportunity as I was an apprentice on a real good project over here in San Francisco, and my foreman and superintendent were awesome, awesome guys.
What kind of work was it?
Pile driving,
Okay.
right? And we were putting in the subway system over there, and they gave me break after break after break. And I blew that opportunity with them fellas. You know, I believe more doors will open up, right? But I shut a lot of doors, whether it was consciously or subconsciously. But we shut those doors when we're in our addiction, right?
Yeah.
And we push away a lot of people, great people that we really don't tend to push away, but that monster that's in us, because it's a monster. Whether you're on meth, pills, heroin, whatever it is that they're doing, that we do as addicts, I should say, we let the devil out in us. And we just pushed a lot of people away and shut a lot of doors, man, that were probably, they shouldn't have been never shut, right? But I don't know. It's just amazing. It's amazing how those doors just get shut so fast, and how long it takes to open those doors again, or some kind of door in a positive way.
And you don't even see as the door is closing because you're so caught up in the addiction.
You don't, man. That's the crazy part, is you really don't. It's just like a blur. It's like you're oblivious to people, places, and things at times, right?
Yeah.
And you're oblivious to your mother's cries and your dad's stern looks. And how your family reacts to you every time you come around. You're oblivious to it at times. And you just live it in effort land for the most part, right? And here I am, man, running around, man. In my addiction, dude. Me and my wife split up, my second wife, and you know, I end up messing around with a bunch of, I'm not going to call them bad names, but just a bunch of women, right?
Yeah.
Bless their hearts, man. Right? But I end up having a kid out of this, all this madness. And that was a blessing. But you would think by having this kid, this child, right, you would want to sober up, clean up for her or him, right? But that monster, that devil, is just so aggressive, man. I mean, during my, I would say within the last 6 years, I was running rugged, right? And thinking I got it, I was in denial with everybody, with myself, even with my peers at work, man. When they knew the clean guy compared to this guy, and they knew something was fucked up.
Well, was your kid around at this point?
No, so I had her just a couple years ago, a year and a half ago, and me and the mother. I mean, she's a great chick. You know what I mean, she's awesome, and she's been through a lot, and I just added on to all her stuff that she's been through in her life. And I got to say, it wasn't fair on my part. But with that being said, she blessed me with this beautiful child. And you would think you would stop, right? But that meth monster, that demon, that devil, whatever you want to call it, whoever wants to call it, you know what I mean? Our addiction, dude, is so freaking strong, man.
Well, I would, to be fair, like, I know better, and I think that's something, it's important for you, important for a lot of people who have kids, to recognize that your addiction doesn't speak to the love for your child or children, like, that's just the nature of chemical dependency, so it's super unfortunate that sometimes people will end up sacrificing some of the relationship with their children, but it's not their fault, so to speak. It's just the nature of the disease,
nature of the beast. Yeah. It's not, and she didn't get asked to be brought up into this kind of muck. But before that, right before me and my wife actually split up for kind of like good, I did try to put myself in a residential rehab, right? Because my family and her were just on me constantly, right? And so I said, okay, I'll go check myself in. But I did it for all the wrong reasons. I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't. A person is gonna, I think, will get cleaned up when they're ready. Mm-hmm. You got to really hit your low, or your low got to come up and hit you. Mm-hmm. One of the two, or you both meet them. You know what I mean? And I went to residential rehab and had nothing to do with courts. Put myself in and bounced after 4 days. She triggered me when I talked to her on the phone, and I hit the gates running, and I ran even harder. Because they say every time you relapse, you hit harder, right? Mm-hmm. You go to the same place, but you go even deeper into your stuff. Mm-hmm. I didn't believe that crap until just recently. You know what I mean? So after that, I hit that, and then ended up meeting the kid's mother, and we got pregnant. Right? She got pregnant. We got pregnant, but she got pregnant. Right? And before the baby was born, I was doing some pretty fucked up shit to her. Right? I wasn't the greatest guy neither. I wasn't even myself. You know what I mean? So, sweetheart, I apologize. But I think it was an eye opener. I ended up getting in trouble. Had to go spend some time in the county jail for 90 days. Right? And during one of my conditions is to do a whole year outpatient program through the courts. And I was kind of pissed because it had nothing to do with drugs, even though I was on drugs, but they didn't find no drugs in the house or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And for all you out there, if you guys believe in God or a higher power, whatever it is that you guys believe in, there is a purpose for this, and our higher power tries to wake us up and knock on our doors, man, saying, "Look, buddy, wake up!" Right? You may not get cracked for drugs. You might not ever be caught for drugs, but one day, man, we're gonna have to pay the piper, right? And so here I am. I'm pissed off after I get out of the county jail. I'm pissed off because I got to go to this outpatient program. And I fought every tooth and nail with this thing. I went to it just to appease the courts, and it was like, man, this kind of stuff sucks, right? Who wants to go to outpatient program, right? Who wants to give up who wants to give up drugs in a sense, right? Because we mask our feelings in this crap, right? And but yet we become a different person. We're not that person that we're meant to be, right? And so I went, and I remember the first day going. This one of the counselors, she tells me, she asks me my name, and I tell her my name. She goes, "Well, what are you here for?" I said, "Courts. Courts put me here, right?" And she goes, "Why? What is the courts?" I said, "Look, ladies, none of your business, right?" I said, "I'm just here for your program." And she goes, She goes, "It seems I'm gonna have to be a dentist and pull some teeth." I said, "You can pull." I said, "You're not gonna get much from me, right?" Well, as time went on, and as I went to the groups, I learned a little bit. I wasn't yet ready. You know what I mean? I still wasn't ready. And even though I was learning, I still was doing dope. I figured out how I can beat the system, because that's just the dope fiend in us, right? Yeah. I mean, we learn how to work a system, man, right? And we learn how to beat the test sometimes, and we're always looking for avenues.
Yeah.
And I thought I was clever, but I ain't clever. You know what I mean? By far, man. People been doing this way before me. So, and they were hip to the game. They would just look at me every time, right? It was like, but I thought I was slick. But I wasn't slick. I was just dumb. And it's just funny, man, because every time I went to go do a drug test, the guy who would drug test me, he's knowing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? He knows, but ultimately it's on us. It falls back on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's clean. You know what I mean? I mean, he's just looking at me like, that's how you want to do it. You want to do it that way, right? And a person still's not ready, right? I wasn't ready, so I ended up going to jail again on a violation. Came home still using. And looking at my child, dude. I mean, it's the crazy part is here I am in this damn addiction, looking at this kid, man, and I'm still like, God, why? Why? I mean, I want better. I say a lot, but my actions weren't right. You know what I mean? My actions were saying other words. Like my mom would always tell me, your fruits are showing. You got bad fruits. Your fruits are no good. You know what I mean? And the company that I kept wasn't great neither. And I was, oh man, how do you know about those people? Man, those people, you don't even know those people. Well, you can see us coming a mile away. You know what I mean? Yeah, really, really, you can see what kind of fruit you're carrying, man. And just with our denial, though, we're just so in denial still, right? And carrying a gun around, doing all that stupid, crazy crap, man. It was. I like to brag about what I do for a living, but I wasn't even working right. You know what I mean? I bragged about it, but there was nothing to show for it, man. Because I was still caught up in my addiction, man, and just thought I was cool as fuck, but I wasn't cool. The cool people are the ones who are sober, living that clean life,
making real money,
take care of their families, enjoying that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Not being lost in some alleyway somewhere, or in a trap house, or in a car somewhere, or just in gutter lane, right? I mean, fudge, dude. I mean, I don't know. Some people I think are just so caught up, and I hope they can find something in themselves to pull them out of that. I really do. What it took for me was getting in trouble, man. This is how our higher power is a trip, right? My mom's always telling me, God's always knocking on your door, man. You just shun them away. You're always shunning them away. Well, she's right. She's absolutely right. But I allowed the devil in this world to consume me in that poison, right? And didn't let the light of our higher power come in and work what he's supposed to do for us. He or whatever they believe in, whoever believes in whatever it is, right? So I get pulled over. The CHP pulls me over. My tags were bad on my car, right? And I had just gotten this car. And my real father says, don't drive that car around with this. I drove it around being an addict, man. You going to tell me what to do. I'm going to go drive this, whatever, right? So I got my kid's mom in the car and we're cruising. They get pulled over. Felony warrant. I'm like, what the hell? Felony? Well, I haven't been doing nothing to get no felony warrants, right? And I said, so what am I being charged with? He says, you just got a felony warrant. I'm just like, what the hell, dude, right? Going to the county jail, I see one judge. The judge goes, well, I don't know what to do with you. So I'm kind of like, all right, man, this is different. What am I being charged with? They don't know. They're not being charged with nothing. And then I go see another judge and the same thing. They don't know what to do with me. So they pass me on to another one. Well, the whole time I'm in there, I get to thinking. And I'm in my thoughts. And I'm tired. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of lying. I'm tired of cheating. I'm just tired. It's like a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm tired of seeing the same people in the damn county jail. Hearing the same shit. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Yada, yada, yada. You hear it all the time. And then you see some brothers that are never going to go home. That ain't ever going to have that opportunity again. Right? Because it ultimately, it's from our addictions that put us there. We do some kind of crime, whether we're selling the dope or we're using the dope, but it's behind that shit. Ultimately, it boils down to the devil's brew. One way or another, I mean, some people are going to go home, but some people are locked in their own prison, in their mind, which I was this time. And mentally, I was mentally distraught and mentally lost. And so I had talked to my kid's mom, and I told her, I said, I'm done. And she said, are you really done? Because like I said, I talk a lot. My mom says I talk a lot. There was no action behind none of my words. I wasn't impeccable with my word, right?
Yeah.
I don't think none of us are when we're in our addiction. We are not impeccable with our words. For all you people out there, look up the word impeccable and read the 4 Agreements, right? It's a hell of a good book. And you'll see a lot in yourself. This book, you don't want to put it down because that book is that good. And the first agreement is being impeccable with your word. So I wasn't impeccable with my word at all. And I'm probably still not. I'm still going through the ups and downs. But I tell you what, it's a hell of a better job to go through it up and down sober than not sober, than being on drugs. You can think, make the right actions, and make the right choices when you're sober, even if the shit is looking bad, but you can still make better choices for yourself. Right? And so, like I said, I was in the county jail, so she put me in this program. She went and called up these people she knew over here in the county and got me in a house or a rehab home or whatever. But the home that I went in, see, that's the thing, is you got to find a program that you're going to like and fit. It's going to fit you and it's going to fit to your needs at that time. Well, this place wasn't suiting my needs, I felt. I maybe didn't give him enough time or not. I was only there for a day and a half, right? But whether I gave it enough time or not enough time, I just felt it wasn't for me. And so I bounced from there. Upsetted a few people because they thought I wasn't being impeccable with my word, or living up to my word or what I was saying I was going to do. But I was tired. When you hit that point, when you're tired and you're ready just to give it all up and surrender, that's a big thing, is surrendering. And the hardest part is getting to your residential rehab or to your whatever kind of place that you need to be at. As long as you get there and you're safe within them walls, man, you're going to find out it's good. It gets better. It gets a little bit easier every day. And so I called up my insurance and they was able to put me up up at the camp over here. And it's a pretty good camp. You're allowed to heal. You're allowed to be yourself. And so I started my sobriety date was July 13th, 2019. And healing was awesome. I'm not done healing because that's why I'm here where I'm at right now today. I'm still healing. I'm healing from internally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Being accountable, being vulnerable, being transparent with everybody in my house here that I'm living at, with my family and friends, dude. I mean, it's an awesome feeling to be that way, and it's awesome to be welcomed and feel some kind of respect and love back, and being with like-minded people. So when I went to this camp, I started learning about myself and about this addiction, and learning what scientifically and spiritually what it does to a person. And boy, man, we weren't designed to put those kind of chemicals in our body, dude. You know what I mean? It's bad enough we drink some soda and eat the candy and stuff like that, and that does some damage to itself, right? And breathe some of the air that it does, and it messes up our brains, right? We lost all connection with life, dude, when we put these chemicals in our body, right? And then as you're going through this healing process in rehab, the fog lifts a little bit and you start to think a little bit different. You walk a little bit different. You talk a little bit different. You socialize with people that you think you would never socialize with. And it's a trip because this disease has no problem taking anybody down from any walks of life. You can be the richest motherfucker up in the hills somewhere living in a mansion. Guess what? That monster gonna come get you. Or we can be living down here in the flatlands. That's the same monster that got that person up over there. Whether you be white, black, Mexican, Asian, or other.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. he just wants you, right? And you could be from across the world in Africa or Europe somewhere. That same monster is getting them.
You heard somebody say it like a equal opportunity destroyer or something like that.
Yeah, he's an equal opportunist for real, man. He don't. All he sees is he wants everyone to suffer, suffer like they suffer like he suffers. Well, my friends, it's time to heal. It's time to heal, man, and not and overcome this disease that we have, man. Some of us were inherited. I believe some of us were inherited this disease, right? That's what science says. And some just picked it up. You know what I mean? People, places, and things. But no matter what, I believe our higher power can get us through this stuff, man. My higher power is God, so I know he can walk with me through this. You know, and healing, like I said, you start to learn how to open up, let some of that baggage out. You know what I mean? Let some of that chemical start flushing through your system out. You start drinking that good water, start eating that good food, start eating those greens and stuff, man. And the transformation starts to happen. There's a transformation that happens to all of us, dude, right? No matter male, female, transgender, it doesn't matter, right? It happens to all of us, and you start having this little glow about you, and you start working the system in the right way, and allowing the system to work with you. And I think that's a big thing. Is you got to surrender to this thing, to our sobriety, or to and go to these groups and meetings, man. And so at the camp, they talk about going to rehab, going to a SLE, getting a sponsor, working 12 steps, and staying proactive, being of service. When I graduated from the camp, it was like, wow. I felt like I was scared. Don't mind me, because that was like Disneyland, right? Here we are, we're protected in this small little community, right? And we got our facilitators there and our techs there and all this other stuff, right? And we're protected. We're amongst our family right there in that community. So we're protected. We're sheltered from the real world. Now, we say all the right things and make all the right moves in there. You know what I mean? And it looks good. But when you come home, it's a different story. What are you going to do? Are you going to follow your treatment plan? Or are you just going to venture off on your own into uncharted waters? Are we ready for that? No, hell no. I wasn't ready for that. I went home for about a week. And you know what? That monster was starting to come on me. And I started fighting with everybody. I didn't pick up or anything like that, right? But I was fighting. I was fighting with the kid's mother. I was fighting with my mother. And it just got ugly, right? And so my mom, bless her soul, she came up to the camp and went through the family program thing that they had up there for the family. And so she got to see what it's like and hear from the professionals about this addiction, about these demons that are attacking us every day. And she got some clarity on this stuff, right? And she's seen that it just didn't attack people like me, but it attacked everybody. Like it's an equal opportunities, right? And so in turn, it helped me out. It made my sobriety a little bit easier. But when the day that she went up here for her first day, we had gotten into a bad argument. So I called up the counselors. And that's when, you got to have a network of people that you need to call and trust too. And you know what, man? I'm glad that I had those people up there that I can rely on and call. Because they made some calls and it got me over here. It got me away from where I'm from and from areas that I know. And it's just, you know what, man? It feels fucking good to be right here where I'm at, sitting right here in the seat right now, talking about this story. Even though I probably don't have enough time to say what I really want to say all the way through and through. But you know what? If I can do this, a person like me can do this with my kind of background. Everybody can do it. And I'm no different from you, to be honest with you. And I'm no different from the female that's out there or the other dude that's down the block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got that same monster on our back.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you people, man, who are out there just suffering, don't suffer no more, man. It's not worth it. I've had so much fun within a month and a half that I've been clean, or 44 days, whatever days it is, clean and doing some clean shit and having some clean fun. It's been a hell of a ride, dude. I don't know where my God is going to take me, but so far I'm just letting him be the captain of my boat, and I'm doing what I need to do, putting in my work. Got me a sponsor the other day, so that felt fucking great.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And I've been going to my meetings. I've been doing my IOP, and you know what? It's worth it. Don't get me wrong. There's times where I just feel like, fuck, man, I'm tired, dude, or exhausted. Excuse me, because everybody is tired.
Yeah.
Right. But let me just say, exhausted. I'm just exhausted at times, right? And that's the thing I learned from the IOP meetings is, you know, we got to give out 3 fillings in a spike for that day, right? But we can't use tired because everyone's tired. So we got to come up with another word, right? So we can be exhausted, and that's okay. We can be mad, and that's okay. We can be frustrated, and that's okay. I'm learning these things as I go, man, but it's great to learn. So no matter how old or young we are, there's always room for improvement, always room to learn and to love and live, dude, right? Like my real dad would tell me, he goes, you got to live on life terms, right? That's a true saying, man, sometimes. Not sometimes, all the time, you know? And you start reflecting back on some of the stuff, man, and just hearing the people share their stories. You can relate in some way, shape, form, or fashion. We all can relate to each other, dude, and that's you know, that's the beauty of this stuff, right? When we go to these meetings and live in our SLEs and stuff, even after we graduate from that, we're still a community, right? You want to keep those contacts, man, because you know the devil's hard. He's at work, and that dude's gonna continue. He's gonna come after us even harder. I think as we're going through this journey, we need to put enough tools in our tool belt, man, and keep them sharp. You know, we sharpen one another up. You know, a phone call does a miracle. That's a miracle right there. When you call somebody up and just ask them how they're doing, or they call you up, because we can be doing bad, right? Be going through our emotions or our thoughts or whatever it is, and be like, damn, dude, I want to go do something. But then your brother calls you up or your sister calls you up and says, hey, what's up? How you doing? Let's go have a talk. Let's go meet up somewhere and just talk. Man, you know how beautiful that is?
Turns it right around.
Turns it right around, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, man. And it could be a square from Delaware, right? That you would never think, right? It'd be like, and that's the beauty of our community. That's the beauty of those rooms. Is it got all walks of life, and I'm learning that, dude, and I'm loving it. I'm telling you, I love it. And anyone who has my kind of background, give it a shot, dude. Right? It doesn't hurt. It's better being in hospitals, institutions, or prisons, right? How's it go?
Jails, institutions, and death.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what they say, man, and that's what's for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a true saying.
Yeah.
We don't get to enjoy our family. Now I get to enjoy it. It's still. Don't get me wrong. I'm far from far. I'm not even out of the woods yet. The fog is not even lifted clearly all the way fully. But you know what? One day at a time, man.
It's progress, not perfection. That's another one.
That's another one, man. And you know what? And you got to surround yourself with some strong people too, I think. That's been in recovery a little bit longer than you have. Because we're, like when you read in the Bible, it says we're babes, still sucking our milk before we were able to eat the whole food, right? It's the same thing in our sobriety, man. I'm still a baby in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think even after 3 or 4 years, we're still babies in this. You know what I mean? We become toddlers. Right? It's all these baby steps, man. But baby steps are better than big steps. You know what I mean? Because babies do tumble and fall. And we stumble and fall and tumble and all that other stuff. But the key is not to pick up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It may hurt for a second, but you know what? I'd rather have that pain instead of mask it with some dope. And at least I know I'm still alive with that pain. You know what I mean? I'm still breathing right and still eating right. Because you know what? Tomorrow, it may not be promised, but tomorrow will be better if we allow ourselves to stay sober. You know, and we just got to find a place in ourselves of peace. And we got to find a place physically where you think it's peaceful. And for me, Santa Cruz is the fucking shit, dude. I get that ocean air. You know what I mean? I get to breathe that fresh air coming off that water. Then I got the redwoods, the big redwoods right behind me, right? That just give off so much energy, so much love, so much everything. And every community has its fucking issues, right? We have our poverty, we have our homeless, we have our addictions out here too. But you know what? They got a hell of a lot of programs for rehab too. And it all depends on where you're at and how you want to go about it. But I highly suggest, man, it's better to be fucking sober today, tomorrow, and yesterday. You know what I mean? It really is. And it's just, I don't know, brother. I mean, I don't think I would be doing what I'm doing right now if I was in my addiction. I'd still be out there running around with a pistol, you know, in hurting people, hurting myself mainly. And that's another thing. You can't do this for anybody else but yourself. And, you know, my mom, she tells me to be selfish but selfless, right? And I'm being selfish right now, but being selfless, right? Because when you're going through this, the rehab and recovery, you got to be selfish. Because it is about you and nobody else.
You have to put yourself first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, you ain't going to be shit for nobody else, man. Your relationships will be shit. I mean, your friendships will be shit. Your job will be shit. Right? And I don't know. I don't want to have shit stacked as high as tall as I am. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just want to start digging out that shit, that mess hole that I got myself in. And being accountable for a lot of stuff, right? And making amends. Living amends, right? I think that's step 9, right? I went to a meeting the other night and they had talked about that stuff, right? Yeah. And it got me thinking. Because I owe not only to institutions, but to people too, right? Some living amends. And that's part of our recovery is to pay back to those institutions that we owe, right? Whether it be the franchise tax board, the IRS, or some shit, right? Yeah. But I heard this guy share the other night, and he said that's part of this step is paying back your debts too, right? Get on the phone and you work out payment arrangements or whatever the hell it is. But in the long run, you'll feel good about yourself. You know, I think, shit, and being responsible, when we were in our addiction too, man, you didn't give a fuck about paying no rent, no telephone bill, no nothing.
Well, it goes back to what you said about being impeccable with your word, and part of that impeccability is integrity, and that includes things like paying our debts and being responsible for things that we owe, you know, and, you know, I think all of that is tied in with honesty and stuff like that, too.
Absolutely. So. Transparency.
Yeah.
It's a trip, man. People, you know, I used to think shit like that was weak.
It's just the opposite.
It's the fucking opposite,
Yeah,
right? 'Cause,
yeah.
oh man, you're weak for being transparent or being open like that to your old lady or to your friends or something. That's some fucking coward shit, right? No. Actually, that's a man or a woman thing, right?
Yeah.
A real man and a real woman, right? And we're not normies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking okay, man.
Straight up.
I'm glad I'm not a normie.
Yeah.
I'm a person that's fighting a disease, just like people who fight cancer. Mm-hmm. They're not normies neither. You know what I mean? Where there's a struggle, and the struggle is fucking real, man. That's one thing my kid's mom always says: the struggle is real. You know, she bless her heart too, dude. She put up with a lot of my bullshit. But now I can really enjoy my kid. I'm learning how to speak softer. I'm learning how to be different in a lot of in good ways. And you know what? And I want to be a great role model for my daughter, dude. I want her to have a good role model to look up for when she gets older, to pick a man, right? Or maybe she might want a female. Who knows? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I want her mom to give her that good role model too of what a woman should be too. You know, so as we fight this demon that we have, man, and become better people, we want to show our children a better way. And that's that's another thing that I'm loving about my sobriety is you can think clearer. Fucking shit may be hard, but fuck it. It's not that damn hard to make the right decision now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's a hell of a lot easier than how it was when we were stuck in the thick of it. You know?
Huh. Ain't that the truth? And just, I mean, fudge, man. Just wake up and just smell the coffee. Your internal alarm clock starts going off, right? And you start waking up. The mornings are great. You know what I mean? Some people may not be morning persons. Some are, right? But still, you get to breathe right, man. Get up and just, you know, hey, man, let's tackle another day sober. You know what I mean? Like me, for instance, man, being on this journey of sobriety, man, I met some pretty cool people in these halls, in these rooms, right? And I met this one brother from all the way up north. And man, let me tell you something. We're gonna go hook up and go start going fishing.
Cool.
You know what I mean? And that's the type of shit I'm talking about. Because before my addiction, I wouldn't. Yeah, I like fishing too, man. But y'all, you know, I was full of shit. Or I like doing this, but you never go do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're just stuck in a corner somewhere, isolating ourselves from the fucking world, right? Man, there's so much out there to see and do and be around. Fuck that. Ain't no drugs worth that. You know what I mean? If you seriously think about it, and if you guys are thinking about picking up, let me tell you something. The women are fine, right? And for you ladies too, the men are handsome, right? And it's not worth it. It is not worth it, man. It's to go and have a normal conversation with people, and you're not all jacked up on some shit, right? Or fucking nodding somewhere looking stupid, scratching your ass off all over the place, right? Or just looking paranoid all the time, right? Or fucking drunk. You know what I mean? You can have a decent conversation, man, with some fucking cool people and do some pretty fucking cool things, right? Like over here, just what they had the surf camp not too long ago through NA.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. What the fuck? You know what I mean? That's some tight shit right there, dude. Who thinks about stuff? Who does stuff like that? You know what I mean? When we're loaded and shit, you wouldn't give two fucks about something like that, right? But now, man, it sounds attractive. It sounds fun, dude, right? Like, and I want to go skydiving.
Yeah, right on.
You know, you a fucking thrill seeker or some shit, right? But hopefully that don't get the shit twisted, because we can leave one addiction and turn into another one, right?
Yeah.
And food is another big addiction.
Yeah, it is.
Gambling is another big addiction, right? So just because we leave one, watch out what you do, because that monster's still trying to get you in some other shape, form, or fashion, right? And so we always got to keep our head on that swivel, and always use that phone to pick up, man, when you feel like fucking picking up. You know what I mean? Because it could be detrimental to our health. It really can. We could be fucking dead that quick right after. Or that instant, man, find yourself fucking in a 6x9 cell somewhere, right? And freedom's too beautiful, dude, and sobriety's fucking even beautiful. You know what I mean? It's fucking, you could see the roses in the morning, see the dew on those petals, right? And look, fuck, you can't see that when you're dead. You can't see that when you're in prison. You know what I mean? You hear a bunch of grown-ass men or women crying all the damn day. So, yeah, man, I mean, fuck. I don't know, brother, but I'm just looking at it one day at a time. I had a struggle yesterday. You know what I mean? I was just like, ugh. I had that ugh feeling, right? When I crossed over the mountain down, because I had to go home real quick, right? And came back before our curfew, though. Am I in trouble for that one?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. Because went home and just even on my weekend pass, dude, when I went down there on my weekend pass, it just gives me that feeling, right? And I'm just not feeling it no more. I'm not feeling that shit no more, dude. I'm not feeling anything over there. The only thing that's over there is my family, my immediate family, and my daughter, dude. Everything's here for me. And if people got to get away from where they're from, I highly suggest it, dude. It's just a suggestion. I can't give you I'm not a fixer because we're not fixers, right? And we can't give out fucking doctor advices. But we can suggest a lot, man. And suggestions, I think sometimes relocating and being a transplant somewhere, man, is fucking pretty good, man. Because, man, people in recovery are still going to love you. You know what I mean? They're going to accept you. You know what I mean? Because we know pretty much go through the same shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And whether you're a thug, you're not a thug, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, even policeman. Fuck, dude. It's just a trip, man. You see, when you go to these rehabs, these residential rehabs, you see all kinds of different fucking people, right? And you know, hey man, it's going to be all right. And it is. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Just like give yourself that chance. Just give yourself a chance. I mean, and it'll work. It works, dude. And just like at the end of the meetings, you say your serenity prayer, and say, keep on coming back. Keep on coming back, man. You know what I mean? And it's fucking good, dude. I didn't think it would be that good. Like I said, I fought every fiber of my body to come do this stuff. And I'm still doing the commitment with the courts, but I'm doing it. Now I'm doing it for me now. And like this one counselor said it, he goes, all that stuff will be a whisper. Right? He says, if you continue doing your program, it's just going to be a whisper. And that's what it seems like right now, even though I'm just fresh at it, right? But everything's like a whisper right now. It seems like the waves will come. They're going to come crashing down on our lives again. But I think we'll be able to handle them a little bit better than what we used to handle them. And, you know, and you'll have that support. I didn't think the support, I thought I lost and burnt all those fucking bridges, dude, right? And just the happiness I see on my family's faces, the happiness that I see around these people around here, even though they don't fucking know me, but they're fucking, you guys are cool as fuck, right? And makes me feel good, makes me feel wanted, makes me feel welcomed. You know what I mean? And you know, it makes me feel like you guys hear my word when I show you guys shit and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Or get to go talk to you. You know what I mean? You know, I like having conversations with you outside of this right here, and just asking you certain things. Sometimes they may seem stupid or whatever, but you know what I mean? Because I don't know. I'm learning a lot of other different things now.
Yeah.
And I want to learn. That's the cool part about being in sobriety and being sober is you start. I should hope you would want to start learning. You don't want to be stagnant. You know what I mean? I think everyone should learn something new every day, and meet someone new all the time. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of cool too, is meeting new people, whether it be male, female, whatever it is, man. But still, man, just talking. I like to talk anyways. But Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, my friend. So far, everything is good. And, I've had my little waves. They're just little ripples, you know what I mean? But I think they were caused, a lot of those waves were caused by me, right? And having these doubts, putting doubts out there with these other people, right? But, you know, it's getting better. And I'm learning how to answer back correctly. You know what I mean? I'm learning how to answer them back correctly instead of in a fucking denial, narcissistic way, right? And owning my own shit and fucking just and accepting the shit too.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful part of recovery. Because eventually I want to own a home. I want a safe environment for my daughter and for the mother too. And I want to have something nice to give them, but I also want to give back what was freely given to me. And being in service, constantly being in service, man. It's whether you're opening up a door, greeting people, doing some coffee or something, or just saying hello, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or, I want to go volunteer. I want to do some good stuff, man. And you start thinking, hey, man, go back to school and trying to pick up something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Education don't hurt, right? I think we were designed to continue to learn, and we stumbled somewhere down the line. And now, hey, I look at all these people, bro, and everyone seems to be learning something. And, and we want to help our fallen comrades, man. But sometimes we can only reach out to them, right? And give them the good news. It's up to them whether they want to take it.
Yeah.
But to all the people who are suffering, man, give it a try. Give it a try. Seriously, give it a fucking try, dude. One time, I used to be in the biggest denial, man, and say, fuck all these people, right? Oh, fuck NA, fuck AA, all that shit, right, man? What the fuck, man? What's wrong with those people? You guys got it down, dude. We the ones who were out there suffering in our addiction that didn't have it down, right? And you look how clean they look, and how you would look. I wish we had pictures of then and now to see the difference in your eyes, your skin color, and everything, man. Just the whole aura about you is so much different.
I think a lot of us do have those pictures. It's mug shots.
Yep, you're right about that one, man. Fuck, dude. I looked at a picture. I remember seeing a picture of me, of the mugshot that they put of me on these billboards, man. When they had an all points bulletin for my ass, right? When I went to jail for 90 days, right? And fuck, I look sad, dude. That was a sad shot, right? And it just, one of the guys at the camp said, dude, your fucking eyes were gray. It's like the life gets sucked right out of you. But we learn how to relive again. Everything is relearning again, right? And having those connectors connect to your brain again that was on your body. And you want those back. We want them back, right? We fucking severed them motherfuckers, cauterized them, right? And shit. I don't know. How do you feel? Let me ask you the question. How do you feel, though? But seriously, how do you feel? Do you feel better now, today, than you did in your addiction?
Oh, undoubtedly. Yeah. I mean, it's like a night and day difference to look at how far I've come, and I think that's apparent to anybody. It certainly was apparent in your story. Like it gets hard out there, and I think for most of us, we can't see how hard it is because we've been blinded by the illusion of our disease. But when when we, kind of get a moment of clarity, like they say in the program, a little breath of fresh air, and with that some sanity, it grounds us, and we're finally able to be like, oh fuck, what am I doing with my life? Look at the direction I'm headed in, and we're finally able in that state to kind of grasp the life preserver that's hopefully been thrown to us.
The lifesaver, right?
Yeah, and then we somebody is pulling on the other end of that and helping us, but we are also kicking, like we're working along with that extra help, and ultimately, we're the ones doing it, with the help of our higher power, whatever that looks like for you. But
right.
But people should feel really proud, and you should feel really proud of completing this program, what sounded like for the first time, and staying sober and doing a great job. That's a powerful story, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for fucking allowing me to speak.
Yeah.
In some way.
No, and I was gonna say too that volunteering for the podcast is itself a form of service.
Right on, man.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank you, Tommy, and thank everyone for joining us today on the Stories of Addiction podcast. To all our listeners, we wish you to stay sober and to be happy.